Hello, everyone, and welcome. We've got a Division Two semifinals match here today between Duke University and the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I'm joined once again by National Master John Williams, also known as Butta on
Hello.
Twitch. Let's check out these games, Butta. Who do you want to watch?
Let's do it. I want to watch something fun. So I think right off the bat, we should check out uh, I'm Itra against Sangdown number 2.
All
'Cause it
right.
looks like White has a pretty nice position going here. So I'm interested, in a potential possible upset already in the first round.
Yeah. Ishan Mitra, this is the board 4 from Duke, taking on the number 1 player from Illinois, Vincent Doe, who's a national master, 2349. And looks like White already has the rooks connected. They're fully developed, and they're inducing some pawn pushes here on the king side.
Yeah, very interesting F5 move here from Black. We just take that, and once again, for the second time today, we see these doubled isolated E-pawns, which can't be that good, I would imagine. After knight takes, now I think we get knight E4 here for White, and there's already issues with the C5 pawn.
So yeah, knight 94, and what if just like b6?
I think we're just kind of happy. I think we're just
Just
chilling.
chilling. Yeah, taking advantage of the hole on e4.
Exactly. Might as well, get a nice little blockade going and have a centralized knight. I mean, there's not really much more that you could possibly ask for, frankly.
Yeah, and I like rook ad1, leaving room for rook fe1. Oh my god, we already have a result.
Wow, I wonder what happened there. I
So we
think
have
somebody
an
just blundered a
English.
rook straight up. Yeah, this game looked very non-interesting to me, which is why I skipped over it, but Shock Misteo
Wow.
2300
Knight takes
just
d6. Yeah.
blundering a full rook immediately. Queen
So
takes d6.
Shock Musteo is the board 2 from Illinois. That is Abhyudaya, the very long last name, Venkata Subramanian. They needed to take on
Subramanian?
e1 with check first, then take back on d6, and they just
They didn't do that.
quickly blundered their rooks. So that is a quick result from Jeff Dew, board 3 from Duke. Huge point, an upset win. So that's a great start for the Duke team.
Indeed, an excellent one. And additionally, if Imma Itra here can pull off this big time upset, that could be huge for
Duke.
thank you.
Yeah, and we
Which is
saw
in
Duke
fun
lose.
fact, North Carolina.
Geography lessons. Yeah, so Ishan is doing well. I want to look at Sauron's game against the Panda Master. Panda Master is the board 2 from Duke, Kevin Wang, who's also a national master at 2300. But looks like Sauron is doing well here. We have a strong center for white, pushing now through with e5, threatening to
Yeah, this
open the e
doesn't look
file.
very pretty for black, unfortunately, here.
So it looks like the board 3s are doing better than the board 2s here in round 1. Let's see. How do you take back with the pawn or the rook?
I think I'd take back with the pawn.
And why is that?
I don't know. Pure intuition.
Just a feel.
Yeah.
So taking
I
with
mean,
the
it
rook.
forces the knight back to d7, and kind of clears the way a little bit, I feel like.
So
Whereas
yeah.
here, the four pawn feels kind of, I don't know. I don't know.
Do we have discoveries? Like, can we sack on c5 and then move our knight somewhere? Or is that just not working?
Doesn't look like it really
Maybe
does
we
too
take on
much.
c6. Yeah, that's what Sauron's pulling the trigger on. And if rook takes e5, the knight can take back. Right now, the threat is to take on c5 if black takes the knight on c6. Also, taking on e5, white could even consider taking with a pawn there as well.
I think I would just take back on c6 here. Black likes to take on e5, interestingly.
So yeah, Sauron's just up a clean pawn now. But Kevin developing the bishop with tempo, opening up for the other rook as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So this game's not over. How's Ishan doing?
Looks like he's got a nice position going. I don't really understand the bishop e4. I might have gone bishop b1 to try to take on d4 and potentially line up like a queen d3 or a queen e4 going after that h7 square.
Yeah, it's looking juicy. That's definitely the way that Jacob from Northeastern would play it. From what we
That
saw.
is the way he would play it for
Very
sure.
very successful results with the queen and bishop battery. And okay, we have h5 preventing black from playing h5. This is a nice strategical long-term move, but it does weaken that pawn a little bit. We see black trying to target it already with bishop f7.
It does. I don't like bishop g6 at all. I was thinking bishop h4 there was a very nice move.
Bishop h4. So yeah, this
I
loses
only
a
just
pawn.
lost a pawn on no.
Yeah, so it looks like, oh, but there's an exchange. There's an exchange to be had here.
There is, but there's also knight c2 at some point.
Oh, getting it back.
But queen e4 here
Oh,
is super
queen
strong.
e4. Queen e4 getting out of the fork with like a
Yep.
counter fork, forking the queen and the
And
knight.
only 30 seconds for saying down number 2.
Oh, rook a d8, but luckily for white, there's rook c1.
c1.
So black trying all the tricks to get out of the fork, but white is just they're one move
And after
ahead.
rook e7, there's knight d5, hilariously. And then finally white wins something.
Rook e7, knight d5. That's crazy. So we just see the knight saved, and white goes up the exchange there, going after this e pawn now as well.
If knight c6, there's rook takes g4. But now we lose e5, which
Bishop
is
takes
not great.
e5. Yeah. I see Shock Masteos, the captain of Illinois, tuning in to the chat, saying that they played a little too quick there.
Yep.
Here, Ishan just finishing this out up the
Rook
exchange, trading off the
e5.
rooks. Yep, rook b7 check wins with the pawn. Really nice technique. And Sang Dao also just super low on time. They resign.
Yeah, Macy just resigns here.
Let's check back in with.
Really nice win.
Let's see. Who should we look at next? Ooh.
Sauron. It looks like Panda Masters kind of brought this back.
Yeah,
Made it very double-edged.
I wanted to look at the next game over because that is not so clear. Or, oh my God, look at
Did we miss a rook c5 or something?
rook
Or what was going on there?
c6.
Ah, because rook b8 check. Right.
Or apparently bishop takes up. I mean, oh, rook b8 discovery on the queen. That's wild
Oh.
stuff. So queen over. And yeah, Quill Logic from Illinois, I believe, also a bit of a streamer. I don't think that they're live right now, but they have streamed in the past, so that's cool to see. I see we have a fan from Duke saying Ishan is going to go 4 for 4 like they did last week, apparently, as a board 4.
Interesting.
So let's give Ishan their point. So Duke is up to a 2-0 lead right now.
Bishop takes G7.
Trying to remove one of the defenders of B7, perhaps. Okay, here. Yeah, so White's got the bishop pair, but low on time. Both of these players are 2200. Double attack from Duke. Top board is up a pawn, but trying to defend here, it seems.
Seems like he's doing a decent job, but man, I'm a bit disappointed with White here.
Yeah, the position was looking promising.
King
Yeah,
up one
bishop
force
G4.
now.
I would have gone bishop G4.
Actually, yeah, probably Bishop G4 was better. You're right. This, it
Okay.
looks like White
Here,
is
can we
winning.
take on C6?
I assume Rook takes C6 was the idea.
I mean, yeah,
Because
that's
you had
why
Bishop
it looks
C5
like,
check.
oh, whoa, taking advantage of the pawn on D3 being pinned. And now the rook is trapped. Knight takes C3 with check. That should be winning on the spot.
It's going to be painful loss here for White if they can't take this one.
Yeah, White still has the bishop pair. Both kings are kind of exposed. Low time for both players.
Yeah, double attack's got to go.
5 seconds now. Now take on G7. Oh my god, take on G7, you win the exchange.
Yep, with Bishop F6. 2 seconds,
Still
Bishop
take on
takes G7
G7.
still.
Or you take on D7.
No, why are we taking on D7? No, why would you do this? Ah,
Yeah, that's a good question. Because now the king is on D7, you're not
no.
forking. 3 seconds for both sides. Offering queen trade.
Queen D.
Trading off queens. That's going to be good for black.
No, that hangs the bishop on E5.
Ah,
GG.
should be resigned soon.
That's unfortunate.
There's really no way to defend this down a rook. Let's check
Yeah.
on Sauron. How's this one looking? Drawn?
Looks pretty equal to me.
Low time for the panda, though.
There was a draw offer that was declined.
Sauron is the one that declines.
Oh, Knight G4 now.
Oh,
Whoa,
Knight G4,
whoa,
you
whoa.
can't go backwards.
Winning. You can't go. Wow.
Wait, where do you go?
Blunders a piece, rook E3. Wow.
Oh, the bishop on B3 was
Unbelievable.
hanging. So maybe Sauron should have taken the draw. Don't go forward. It's made one. Panda.
Wow.
Squeaking out a
Clutching it up.
win after having a completely drawn position. And yeah, looks like White has won a rook back here in the quill game, but trading down is only favorable for black.
Ooh, it looks like Shock Misteo might take down Ima Itra here.
Wow, they
as
started this one
well.
quick. But yeah, Duke
Yeah.
swept Illinois in round 1. 4-zip.
Are you kidding me?
Huge statement start for the Duke team that's been struggling in the
Wow.
other divisions. So what happened in this game? Why? Oh, what? I'm just gonna. Okay, so they take with the.
Wasn't there one we thought was drawn or something? Or
Yeah, it was the Sauron match versus Panda.
oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Ima Itra might just be about to blunder the game away. Ruh-roh.
Okay, so Ishan versus Shakmasteo Abi. And the white's starting main one. Black's inserting
think
some
that's
checks. King's going to the C file. So black cannot give another check without losing a piece. So they go rook to g1 to block. We have a potential repetition here, but no.
No.
Keeping the rooks on.
This should
Now
be
check.
winning for white for
But yeah,
sure.
white's winning the e pawn. That's gonna be a passed e pawn there. So what's going on with this? Maybe rook g3 for black. Win the g pawn.
I mean, I don't see how that wins the G pawn, unfortunately.
You take. Oh, pawn takes comes with check.
Yep.
Oh, rook
And followed by mate,
a6
actually.
makes sense. Okay, here, but again, rook g7.
If rook G7 now, I think we can go H6.
Ooh, that's looking spicy. That's looking
The rook on
spicy.
A6 is trapped. And now check and
Check in rook f1. Or no.
what do you think?
You can take on b7.
I think, yeah, it's just take on B7, I believe.
And
Yeah,
now the c pawn is passed. The king wants to come to b5.
because you're just gonna go rook F1, rook F7 now. Like rook C6?
Yeah, and rook
You need to
f1's really
play in order
nice.
to go rook C8 so you can take on H6, but we'll go rook F1 now and you can't take on H6 because it's mate, I think.
Oh, check forcing the rook block. Rook takes, king takes, now king b5, and the rook's gonna come to
I guess you
c1.
just queen this other pawn,
Yeah,
huh?
and you're just walking the c pawn up the board.
Rook
c6.
F1 maybe?
A rook f1 would have been nice, cutting the king off
I
from the
guess
a
it's not
pawn.
really needed, because if the king comes over, you just go rook G1, rook G7. Now rook G1 I think is important.
Oh, king e7 to keep the king out of d6. No, just allowing king d6. Yeah, peculiar. But king's coming to d7, and black's going to have to give up the rook. That's going to be an easy win for the Illinois captain to get them on the board.
I might take on
c7,
E6 here.
just c7. Super clean. Resignation.
Yeah.
So Illinois on the board, not getting swept twice in a row. So
No. Oh,
shot
Sengao,
Stale.
whoa, is about to lose for sure.
Oh,
Queen F2 check.
let's see what went wrong. We have an open Sicilian, one of your favorites. Oh, b5 pawn sacrifice.
Okay, and where is the win here? Queen takes G2. Yep, rook E1 is
Wow.
forced.
Yeah, looks like black just completely opened up the queen side. And this king's getting tossed around by the heavy pieces here from white. This king on d1, a sitting duck, both rooks out of the game, disconnected.
Rook D2 check is pretty nice, I think.
Rook d2?
Yep,
How does that work? Queen takes. Oh, and then you
queen
take on
takes F1.
f1.
Queen E1, we can take on F3 check. Queen E2, we can go like Queen B3 check, I think. All kinds of stuff.
So you're just trading down there.
Yeah.
Hello to pawns to queens, cheering on Duke. Duke struggled in Division 3 and Division 2. No, Division 4 and Division 3. But here they are in Division 2, and they're starting off strong. And Division 2 is where it's where the money's at for this Duke team.
I was gonna say E6 and Knight F4 also looked strong. This I don't like. It allows Knight F4 from white. But I imagine black still will be able to take this one down. I would be surprised if they do not.
And for those of you curious, this match right here is worth $1,000. So a win here
Wow.
gets the team $1,000. And if they win next weekend in the finals, they will earn themselves $2,500.
That is awesome.
All right, knight e3. What's going on with this one?
Mm.
Looks like is black losing a rook here? Yeah, rook c3, but then you just
What
take
the?
queen. Take
Oh
queen and then you
no,
lose the rook on
dude.
c2.
What just happened here?
Resigns.
He had to go to the other rook to c3. Oh man. That's
That's
so disappointing.
that's rough. Yeah, their position was looking so good. So yeah, huge point for Illinois to bounce back. Their board one getting a point here. That would have been devastating to lose to both board 4 and board 3.
Wow.
Singdao exclaiming no in the chat. They're feeling bad for their
So
win.
is that 2 wins for Illinois so far
Yep.
this round?
So Duke
After they
starts
went
with
0-4
4
in the first
nothing.
one.
Yeah, and Illinois answers back 2-zip. So it
Man.
looks like double attack and Sauron looks to be like an even position. Do you favor knight over bishop in this one or not really?
Mm, to me, it doesn't seem like one is particularly better than the other, although I probably would rather be white here.
Jeff is claiming that that last game was a mouse slip or a misclick. I don't know if there's a difference, but either way, cost them the game. Kind of balances things out. I mean, Shock Misteo had a really big blunder in the first one. Probably wasn't a mouse slip, but yeah, I'd like to see the match be close. Duke trying to run away with it, but they're not able to follow up here in round 2. But there are still 2 games left.
I think I'd like to see e5 here from double attack. To try to create a passed pawn.
E5 is risky though, creating an isolated pawn.
92 is probably losing to bishop c4 check, bishop takes e2.
Taking and black's gonna push the 3-on-2 majority. Get the king in.
Yeah, just king d4, force king f3, and then you go b4.
And we see that it's a very clean continuation here. And just c5. Or like you said, b4.
I think literally every single one wins actually.
c5, a4, and b4.
Yeah,
Just any pawn push.
I think you can't go wrong with any of them.
And yeah, so and the problem here is white's pushing g4, but they're not making a pass pawn. The only way they can make a pass pawn with their majority is with the e pawn. And unfortunately, the king on d4 just so perfectly placed in the center is going to catch that pawn every time.
Indeed. So that's going to be a win for Sauron, which is going to be a third for Illinois in the second round.
Okay, white's trying to make a pass pawn this way, but the
Does
king, like I
not work,
said, is
unfortunately.
there. The king is there, and even if king g4, you can play king f6, and there's no stopping b4, c3, and that c pawn is queening. Yeah, you can take that or you can push. Pushing's probably a little cleaner. And yeah, we have resignation. So Sauron, is Illinois going to complete the reverse sweep? There's 1 game left in round 2. How's this one looking?
This one is looking like Panda Master is firmly in the driver's seat to me, so I would be surprised if we see a sweep, but you never know.
Panda Master got to connect 5 on the 4th rank with their pawns early on before we trade a lot of things down here. So let's see. Quill Logic won a pawn in the center, but it looks like black gave it back, and we're left with a even position. Although can white take on b6? I guess you're gonna lose one of these b or d pawns.
If you take on b6, we have to think about knight takes d5, right? Which hits both the bishop and the rook.
So then rook b7.
Hmm.
I think you're just gonna lose one of those pawns anyways, so you gotta take one of the pawns, right, to not go down.
Makes sense.
But if you take on d5, you're leaving white with the passed b pawn. That could be potentially dangerous.
You're also giving yourself a passed d pawn, however.
So they take on the b pawn, so neither side is getting passed pawns. The rook still has to move, and both players are very low on time.
Now rook d7 seems sensible. Just hit the d6 pawn.
Yeah, rook d7. Are you planning on playing bishop c7 there? Or maybe bishop d8?
I think there's a lot of options here,
Ooh.
frankly.
But now black's going after this d pawn. Can we save it?
Can play knight b4 probably.
Knight b4 and then maybe bishop c3?
Hmm. Maybe you don't want to do that then.
Oh my god, so low on time. So they're trying to trade off this bishop.
Bishop d8 is reasonable.
Can black just take this pawn?
Definitely.
Bishop takes. Oh, but then white's going to get the f7 pawn here. Both sides less than 10 seconds.
f4, go, go, go. Oh man, I wanted f4 instead of takes on
f4 to
f7.
go for checkmate would have
Yeah,
been spicy. 3
gotta play as
seconds.
tricky as you can.
There
Okay,
goes the
take on
g6.
g6, and then knight
And
c6, take on d4, and then take on
h6 is
h6.
hanging. Now take
Knight
on
c6
h6.
now.
Oh, knight e6. And
Same thing.
flags. So Panda
Wow.
Master avoiding the reverse sweep, and that's gonna hold on to their hold on to a 2 point lead. Oh, but that's a strong round still from Illinois. That's exactly what they needed to bounce back from a 4-0 start. So this match
Definitely.
isn't over quite yet. We still have 2 rounds left, but Duke is still enjoying a 2 point lead. Can they hold on, or is Illinois gonna try to complete a comeback?
I don't know. This Illinois team is pretty good. So I think this match is still totally up in the air, frankly. I probably would have given Illinois the like pre-match advantage. So I don't think being down 2 games, clearly as they showed last round, nearly sweeping Duke, um, is I don't think 2 points is an insurmountable lead, especially not with 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, I also think Illinois might have been the favorite going into this. Let me actually check the bracket here. Let's see. Duke is the number 1 seed, and Illinois is the number 5 seed. Duke in the last round beat University of Chicago 13-3, and Illinois beat WashU and St. Louis 10-5. So Duke trying to take on a second team from Illinois. Let's see if they can go 2-0 here.
Shock Masteo playing a very interesting opening here that I quite like against the French. A curious line where he purposely sacks the f2 pawn, but Black's pieces are a bit discombobulated here, to say the least.
Yeah, so White's going for this development. Taking on g7 would be pretty risky. After rook g8, you can even give up the h pawn as well, but then rook takes on g2, and White's probably not safe enough there.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of this now because I think after bishop c5, knight a4, queen a7, knight takes c5, queen takes c5, bishop e3, it looks like that queen is trapped and your black is going to be forced to play d4. Bishop d4, I think we have knight b5 now?
Do you still have knight a4?
Oh,
Taking
queen takes
here.
g7 is interesting choice.
Queen f6, but
But
now
if we
rook
were going to
g2
go for
check.
this, Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. There might have been some tricks there with this queen and bishop on some awkward squares hit by the knights. What exactly is white going for with queen f6? Are they trying to play?
Well, he wants to number one keep defense of the e5 pawn, and also there is this battery along the f file that could potentially be opened up. For example,
Ah,
knight takes d4 could become a big threat at some point. In addition, though, you also have things like knight g5 available, or even knight h4 as well. Bishop g5 is also an interesting possibility, creating a battery along this diagonal.
yeah,
Um,
and
now,
also take
also,
rook off.
again, knight b5 is a very serious threat here that white has available. So, I mean, the evaluation for me is showing that this is equal, but I think this is much more difficult to play here for black. Probably, I would imagine you have to take on c3 here. I don't really see what else you can do. The nice thing about losing f7 is that even if you do lose it, knights are the best defenders of kings, so I don't think you're really getting checkmated. Um,
I was wondering if black could play rook f2.
so rook f2, I think, still runs into the issue of knight b5, so I think I can just take it,
So
and after
rook
bishop
takes,
takes,
yeah,
go knight b5.
knight b5, yeah. Yeah, and then maybe like
Or
knight
even you
d8.
could probably leave the oh, could you? Maybe not because it's pinned. Yeah, so probably takes knight b5 I would imagine.
The
Bishop
bishop
d7 also
d7.
makes some sense.
So bishop d7, is that just trying to get castled?
I think so, yeah. So I expect to see knight b5 here.
Or knight d4? Oh, knight
Knight
this.
h4 I
So
did not
the
expect.
problem with this is that the knight has no forward moves anymore. We're attacking f7 and we're attacking g2. Um, so that's a good point. Oh, they just
This
didn't
blunder's
defend
made on
f.
h8,
Queen h8.
unfortunately.
Yeah, queen
Yeah.
h8. So the rook needed to
Takes
stay on the
bishop
g file.
g5 is
So knight
mate in
h4
h4.
tricky, and black messed up. Rook takes his mate in one.
Yep.
GG. So
Kind of like kind of like we mentioned, right? I was like the computer is showing that the evaluation is equal, but I think it's much more difficult for black to
yeah,
play, and
black had to play
that was
perfectly.
bore out.
And I want to watch the National Master matchup here. Panda Master versus Sangdao #2.
I
So
mean, I feel like Sangdao has not been having a good series at all so far. They won that last game, but they were dead lost as dead lost can be. But it looks like they're finally kind of getting their stuff together here. They have a really nice position here as white, very comfortable. It looks like Rook D1 feels like a very sensible move to play here. Queen G3 also makes a lot of sense, just kind of following in the direction of your pawns, right? They're pointing at the king side, so you might as well move your pieces towards the king side.
yeah, and black's getting nervous here, playing King H8, getting out of the pen, not allowing for Bishop H6. And now we see Rook D1, but they go with the F Rook. I'm not a big fan of that.
Presumably, it's because they wanted to play Rook B1 to defend B2.
There it
I'm
is.
assuming that's why I figured they did not play Rook D1 when the queen was still on E1 to begin with, was because they were worried about this Rook B8 and having to move the Rook back to B1.
Yeah, I agree with what you said though. Sangdao, not the best start, but finding their groove here and getting a little lucky in that last round. But sometimes that's what you need. And also, I think it's just showing like Illinois as the match has gone off. Obviously, like they couldn't have started any worse than 0-4, but they're definitely getting better as the games progress, which could actually be scary for this Duke team. They've only gotten 1 point since the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have another result.
Yep.
Ishan.
Itra was crushing. I checked out that game a minute ago.
I like how you say Itra, because like their last name is Mitra.
You know, I feel like that's just my thing at this point. We
Just
got Lil
mispronounce it.
Kevin, we got Burger King. Like
It wouldn't
I'm like
be a
I'm
clean
like
chess league
John Madden,
stream without a huge rook blunder from Sauron,
Yeah.
and just a quick resign. So, okay, Ishan getting a second point here, holding on to Duke's 2 point lead. 2 games left in this round. Looks like Jeff is doing well against Aiden Carey, Quill Logic, the board 4 from Illinois. What
Yeah,
exactly
Logic
is
similarly having a difficult time so far. Can you take on B7, take on C8, and go Queen B4 check to win a knight?
Oh, the tactics. That looks like it's winning. Is Jeff gonna find it? Jeff's up 2 pawns right now, which is
And 30
good.
seconds.
Yep. We see a couple Jeff fans in the chat. Duke's got the fans representing today.
I like it.
Even Wikipedia from Temple is cheering on the Blue Devils. So, do we have any love for Illinois? I saw Shock Masteo was in the chat earlier. So, Illinois, the underdogs, according to the seeding.
It looks like Tugama's gonna find it.
Yeah,
It's on the first two,
you're getting
and
simplified
there it
in
is,
now.
Queen B4.
Uh-huh. So, nice tactic from Jeff. Taking down the board 4 here from Illinois, and that's actually gonna give Duke even more of a lead going into the ultimate round.
Well, I think if the Sangdao game holds, they should tie this round 2-2, which is going to maintain their 2 point lead heading into the final round, I believe.
Yeah, and Quill's fighting on, but c6
It's going to be
check, and
tough.
yeah, the knight is hanging, but
Something simple, Queen D2.
White's got the initiative. Queen d2. If rook takes c5, we have queen d6, Forktown.
Yep.
Low time for Quill. All right, let's check out this National Master matchup again. What were you saying about this? If
Well, Sangdao was winning earlier, according to the computer. Now it looks like it's equal in its evaluation, but I was saying that if Sangdao is able to convert this game, that it should tie this round 2-2 at least. And while Illinois maybe wouldn't make up any ground, they wouldn't necessarily lose any ground. We do have to keep an eye on Panda Master's clock, which is getting very, very low.
very low on time, I want to like take on f7 and take on d7, but our rook on b1 is hanging right now.
So why not
So
play Rook C1 first?
rook b to c1. There's queen takes b2, and we have the same. Oh, but then our rook on c2's or c1's defended by our bishop. But so we lose a pawn to win a pawn, but the rook on d7 is a very active piece, so maybe it's worth it. And Sangdao's giving back some of that time advantage.
I don't think it's worth it because we lose the pawn on A3 at the end, but surely that's what Sangdao is calculating. We'll see if they decide to go for it here.
And we lose the pawn on a3, and that also defends the bishop on
It looks
e7.
like it. Oh, Rook
Oh, rook
C7
here.
instead. This is getting frisky if you play bishop takes D6 now.
Yeah, bishop
Gotta go
d6,
though.
probably take on d7.
Now bishop takes A3
2
though.
seconds. 1 second. Take on a3. f6, threatening mate. Oh, can we get on those dark
This is getting
squares? Queen
tricky.
g5. Going with the bishop. Wait, can we give bishop check? King over, and then
Bishop check and
Oh, rook takes first.
Queen b3 now.
Okay, attacking the rook.
Oh,
2 seconds, 1 second. Rook b1,
queen
strong
e1.
move. Queen has to defend. 5 seconds for both sides.
It's a crazy game.
Living off the increment. The queen is hit. Oh, and
Bishop
that opens
d2
up bishop d2, barely holding on.
takes.
Oh
Barely,
my
barely.
goodness.
Play h3 or something, man.
Yeah, clear the back rank, please. So what is happening? Black is up a pawn.
Queen a2 check.
Oh, the queen's coming in. Check. Oh,
Queen
that
takes
forces
e1, of
queen
course.
trade. Black
Yeah.
is winning now. They're
This
holding
king
on to
takes
the pawns.
f6. Go rook a6 and then king takes f6 and then black's gonna win.
Black is going to be up
Wow.
2 pawns.
This
That's
is a
going to be it.
huge win for Duke. So I think all they'll need is a draw in the last round, right, to take it home?
No, no, no. This only gets them to 7.
Okay.
Wait. No, maybe you're right. Did I not give Jeff a point? Yeah, that gives them... Wait. Is this a 3-1 win here for Duke? I think it is. So Panamaster is flawless, right? And like you were saying, Duke only needs a draw.
Yeah, they should be up 4 points.
Yeah, they're up by the original 4 from round 1. So Illinois, they won the second round 3-1, but Duke answers right back with a 3-1 win of their own, and Illinois has to sweep in round 4 just to force overtime, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
But this is 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. This is going to be huge.
So Duke, all they need is a draw. And that's huge to have draw odds as well, because that's going to make life a lot easier for your games.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna force Illinois to really go for it. And I mean, right away, if we take a look at Sangdao playing against double attack, I mean, this game is gonna be decisive.
Yeah,
We have
we've got
early opposite side castles, already both sides going for an attack.
yeah,
Sangdao a counter in the center as double attack tries to go on the king side.
d5, knight d4, knight g to e2, and white's going to go h4, h5, and like you said, it's just going to be an all-out attack from both these players. I
Yeah,
love
this is
opposite side
gonna be a
castles
brawl.
games.
Yeah, me too. Definitely one of my favorites. I don't necessarily like F3 there.
f3, a little slow,
I think
allowing
so.
black to play b5
Oh,
first, and now black can hit with b4. So that f3 move, giving black one extra move to land the first punch.
not only that, but the bishop defended the h5 square. So now if you play h5, you have to calculate knight takes h5. Like,
That's
is
a
that
great
possible for
point.
black at any point? You know? I'm not saying that it's necessarily good, but it's just something that you have to think about, something extra, you know? Whereas before, like, if the pawn's on f2 and you play h5 and they play knight takes h5, you play bishop takes h5 and you don't even think about it.
Yeah, I guess they wanted f3 to protect g4, but sometimes you just play g4 anyways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Try to open up that g file. Get both rooks on the h and g files and really just tear open
So
that
black,
king side.
I was gonna say, black does need to find a way to shut down the king side somehow, and it looks like he's found his way.
Yeah,
I
he
mean, I don't
played
like this.
h5.
I don't like this for white at all. Oh no, go to d7. What are you doing? Then you could take on e5 and play knight e5. Oh man, I think there's a huge misplay from black here to put the knight on g8.
I would have taken on h5, and then maybe try to go for h4, but maybe black would take with the knight there. But at least we open up the g file for our other rook. But like you said, black goes to g8, and now white's proceeding with
Knight g8
f4.
felt like a very bad automatic kind of move. Like they were just thinking, okay, like knight just goes to g8, but
So yeah, f takes. I also would have considered f5 there. But yeah, not so clear how to exactly open all of this up still. The G and H files are closed. We have opened the F file, so maybe rook F1 makes sense.
Yeah, I think white is just clearly better here now.
So that's good for Duke. Maybe we check on some other boards. Who should we look at? Panda versus Shock Masteo is a big one.
That is a huge game.
So looks like Ubby's doing well for Illinois. Ubudaya
Yeah, I think he's just
up
winning
two
here.
pawns,
Looks like
right?
it. Yeah. I mean that outside past A pawn is just gonna
Yeah, already
it's gonna make
supported.
all the difference. I mean I think black can even allow knight takes F7. It's not like a huge deal. In fact, you might just leave the knight on F7 if it takes on F7. You won't even take it. Okay, this hangs the knight on D2. Oh no, it's check. Okay.
Queen check. Yep. Queen check first, and now
But
maybe
now you have to worry about queen takes H4 check and queen takes D2. And I guess if you play knight F3, knight D F3, then there's just queen takes C4,
yeah,
right?
Queen C4.
If queen A4, there's rook D8.
Computer saying knight B3 is the best shot, but that is not easy to play, like you said. Hanging H4 with check.
I don't think that
White's
I
playing
don't
knight
think
B3.
that Panda is gonna play knight B3. I'd be very
It
surprised.
makes some sense because you're attacking the C5 pawn, right? And you're getting some decent counterplay there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well now,
wow,
okay.
they didn't take on C4.
Queen takes C4 felt automatic. I mean, it's like the only thing that's allowing black to have literally any counterplay. I mean, you just take on D5 pretty instantly here now, without much thought.
There's also this like knight F7 idea that you said.
I think I would take on D5 first,
Take on
because we have
D5.
D6 check potentially, right? So it just forces the capture back, and then yeah, and then we take on F7, and now it's incredibly murky.
Knight
This,
takes.
what is
Hold on.
black
Can we
doing?
like
D6
push
check?
D6? Yeah, D6.
D6 check followed by rook takes D7. King can't take back because there's queen A4, queen takes H4. I think. Maybe not.
Wow. Wait, no. But black can
Just
take
queen
on
A4 in
F3
general.
first with check. But yeah, like you said, Queen A4 is huge.
I would take on D7 first and then go queen A4 check.
Take on
Forces,
D7.
forces the king to D8, and then we have queen A5 check, followed by queen C7. Then like queen E7 check, D7, all kinds of stuff.
Um. Okay, wait. Queen G2 is mate.
This is queen takes G2 is mate. Wow, dude. Me and Panda Master were on the same wavelength there.
Oh man.
That keeps Illinois in it.
All right, Illinois, they got one, but they
Dude, that's so
still
funny. I'm doing
need
all that calculation and
reloads.
it's just made in one. Wow.
That's a highlight right there. All right,
Dude, incredible.
Sauron versus Jeff. Both these players
Oh,
2200.
Sangdao is saying done though.
Yeah, we were saying this was looking good for Duke here.
Oh man.
All right, what happened in this one?
This is just over.
White
Over.
tearing open the king. Look at this move.
Rook
Bishop
D7 is
takes.
coming.
And what happens if this?
What happens if what?
Like I'm looking at white sacked on h5. Look at this, dude. Bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, queen takes. And if rook takes, there's queen takes here. And now, like, I still don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, pretty incredible stuff here from White. Really nice attacking game.
Is
But
double
the queen
attack
on a1 is just completely out of the game.
queen a1. I'm still okay, but explain to me. Bishop h5. What on earth? Do they want to play g6 check?
So bishop takes h5. Go back. Let's see.
I'll move 24.
Yeah, probably g6 check looks really strong.
That's wild. And then rook takes f7. Back-to-back sacrifices.
Did you want to go g6 check to go queen g5 check?
Bishop takes, and if king takes, there's queen f6, queen h6. Can the king survive on g8? What is happening there?
G6 check. Wow, what a move.
King takes queen f6.
Dude, look at
King-
these pawns. How did the pawn get on c7 anyway?
You have to play king h5. What? Well, white's pawn went into Pac-Man mode and just took a bunch of stuff. Or just took one thing, I guess. Black just didn't take back. Pawn push. Wait, what happens if bishop takes?
On
oh,
g6?
rook d7.
D7. Yeah.
Takes, and now rook g1.
Yeah, White's getting a little frisky here, but he figured it out eventually.
Ah, sack the queen for the rook. You get a second queen. So this should be it for Duke.
Dude, what a way for Duke to advance a game like this.
Apparently queen d6.
Pretty fantastic.
All right, so double attack with a double sack to win the match. 9 points for Duke. There's only 2 games left, but what a match this was.
I would definitely say that's a bit of an upset. You know, I'm gonna say it right now, in my opinion. Not the result I would have expected.
Duke saying that the curse has been broken. So they made it to the finals in D2, which is their A team, the highest division that they are in. They did lose in the semifinals for their B and C team, but yeah, they are moving on with that match. I believe I said they're guaranteed $1,000, right?
I believe you did.
Yeah, so that's $1,000 in the bag for Duke's A team, and a chance to win an extra $1,500 for a total of $2,500 next weekend in the finals. They're gonna move on to play against the winner between Central Supelec and Temple. Didn't we watch that yesterday?
I think so. Yeah, we did.
Did Temple win that one?
You know, I believe they did.
I'll double check.
Yeah, it looks like we have
Temple
a 9.5
won.
6.
Yep. So yeah, winner here, Duke moves on to play against Temple. Ooh, who do you have on that one? I love this Duke performance. But Temple's top 2 boards went 4-0 each against Central Supelec.
Yeah, but their bottom 2 boards did not great.
They did have a sub on board 4 with
That's
RB
right.
Spyro.
Will they have a sub again? Is the question.
That is a good question. Can they bring their full strength roster?
I really want to say that it's going to be Temple.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeffrey, their team captain from Temple, is saying that their board 3 was finishing up his master's thesis. Oh, B2. Ishan gonna pull this one out. 2 queens on the board. Queen, right? What's the big deal?
Yeah, B1 check.
Whoa, not queening with check? What?
Very questionable. Queen B8.
Queen b8, the
Don't go
only
Queen
move.
B8.
Flagged.
No.
Ishan, just make a queen with check. Oh my
After playing that
goodness.
whole game like that,
Oh. Well, that's a point for Quill Logic. That's their first point of the match,
oh,
and we
and
have
Sauron just blundered
yeah,
away this
one
king and
last
pawn
game.
ending, unfortunately.
So, okay, this was supposedly a draw, and what went wrong? Apparently F4 was the inaccuracy.
Indeed.
Wait,
Now White's king can't get back.
it was a draw after King G4 with the move H6.
Yep, H6.
Wow.
Because H6, King G5, you take on B5, they take on H6, and I think you get to F2 in time.
So this Duke team, the storyline here is consistency across all four boards. None of them went less than 2 out of 4, and half of them went 3 out of 4. So no clear point leaders for them, but they're firing on all cylinders here as a team, and they win the match 10-6, earning themselves a spot in the finals, along with $1,000 guaranteed, with a chance at 2,500 total. What a match that was. So congrats to Duke and good luck to both of these teams next weekend. Illinois will play in the third place match against Central Supelec. Yeah, Duke versus Temple next weekend. Looking forward to that. Big matchup.
Indeed, should be hype.
All right, but that is it for now. We have another hour-long break until the exciting Division One matchup between Yale and U Chicago. Who do you have
Ooh, that'll
going
be a big
in
one.
that one?
Gotta go with my boy a Wonder in U Chicago for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You can never count on Wonder out.
In fact, I'm gonna say this. I think they're gonna dominate Yale.
Wow.
It's gonna be a dominating
It's
performance of U
gonna
Chicago.
be.
They're gonna bring
I
it this
mean,
week.
to me, the big difference between these two teams has to be the board two. Obviously, we know Chicago has a Wonder Liang on board one, but Yale also has a Grandmaster, Nicholas Cheka, on board one. Like I said, the big difference is Chicago's got that 1-2 punch, the combo with a Wonder and Praveen. So
Yeah,
I think that's going to be the difference maker. I think that they also have really strong board 3 and 4s for both of them. Maybe slight edge to Chicago there as well, but like I said well, I said this yesterday. I think Yale's got a really strong board for Maxime Yaskolko, who's performed really well for them. So either way, gonna be super exciting. We're gonna watch that in 1 hour from now, so you guys will want to stay tuned and stick around for that. But for now, we're gonna take a quick break and send you guys off on a raid. Thank
all
you all for
right.
being here, and we'll see you back in an hour.
See you soon.